NieR Automata on the PS4. I hesitate to call this a YTF. We'll call it a rest stop. This game was generously provided by the Carroll County Public Library System of Maryland, and it's going back to the library. So let's pack it in for a second. But let me get a few things out here. Where was I at the end of the last video? I want to say I was over here. Yeah, right around here. Yeah, that's right. I was exploring the desert, trying to find a little girl robot who was lost in the desert, which got kind of annoying because, to be honest, it was one of those. It was kind of a really annoying escort mission. She was basically hiding along here. As we walked, and she was essentially walking on a preset path, I want to say, that eventually got us back here. Yeah, it got us back here, and at some point we kept getting interrupted by mobs, and she would pitch in occasionally. Like she would, like if you ran too far away from her, she would cower, and she would occasionally ask, questions like, "Hey, where do babies come from?" Basically, whatever. That kind of mission is kind of one of the many problems this game has that I have with the game's design. It is representative of many of the issues that people like me have had with this game. People like me who wanted to like this game, and ultimately I'm finding myself kind of frustrated with the pacing of the game's storytelling, the pacing of the game's traversal, the fact that the game is designed around walking back and forth between storytelling points. And I'm going to describe this game as, based on what other people have told me, I'm going to describe this game as a very ambitious and very well-meaning story that has been ripped into 1,000 pieces and scattered around this map. And your job is to go where the designer tells you to go to find those pieces of the story. And then at some point, spoiler alert, and I'm not going to be able to do this here, the designer basically takes the pieces you've collected so far, snatches them from you, and rescatters them all over the game world and says, now do it again. Except this time, I'm going to give you a bit more, I'm going to give you a slightly different path, apparently, to collect those pieces of the story, to collect those shreds of the story that I'm giving you. And all this is apparently to serve a purpose. I am becoming increasingly frustrated and bored by that particular method of storytelling. The idea of forcing me to pick up the scraps of a good story you've told, while you imply that searching for the story is the reason why the story is good. The act of me searching for the pieces of the pages of the story is somehow supposed to be part of the story he's trying to tell. He didn't just write the story in a book and tell you to read it. He didn't just write this story like as a movie and tell you to watch it. It's basically like he's taken the story, scattered it in this world, and say, okay, I want you to go to every single location where this story is located, and I want you to piece the story together as we go along. And oh, by the way, I'm going to make you find all those pieces all over again. I'm going to mention this. There was a young lady right here who has a quest she wanted me to complete for her. Did you deliver my gift? Yeah, she has a gift for Pascal. Second. Where's Pascal? Pascal is over here, back in the... Yeah, he's back over there somewhere. And let me go to the quest over here so I can see where it is. Active quest. Manager's request. A resistance camp manager has been having some personal problems lately, so we can't concentrate on her work. Find a box. Okay, so we're going to do that later. But in the meantime, I have to talk to a dude that's over here, I believe. Yeah, this dude. What's good, Balloon Brother? Nothing, apparently. So I guess I can't... What? Okay, so what's my active quest, see? Now I have to figure out what that red dot on my map is telling me to go. I'm at the red dot. I should be right here, right? All quests. Active quests. Yeah, we already did that. Okay, so I guess that's going to be a thing. Manager's requests. Yeah, we're going to do that later. But where is that going to be? A box that makes... Oh, maybe the kid... Maybe that girl with a dream has it. I'm to the android couple. Yeah, so we're going back to Pascal's village to explain that. Yeah, we'll get to that. So I guess once I deliver the gift, I'll be allowed to do that. Doesn't anyone else have a music box? Well, anyway. So I have to go around to get here, right? So again, if I want to make progress in this game, how do I get to where I go? Well, in a game like Fallout, or in a game like, you know, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim, Amalur, you fast travel. There's one of these parts here, there might be like a fast travel point right here. You press a button and the game takes you to a loading screen, and you end up going to that area. In this game, you got to walk there. Now, in a game like, well, not just Skyrim, like in any other game, when you explore, the game rewards you for exploring by saying, wait, where's, just a second. Have fun. In other games, the other games reward you for exploring by giving you fast travel points. So once you unlock a particular waypoint, you don't have to keep traveling back there over and over again. This is a game that is constantly forcing you to move back and forth across this map, and apparently that's part of the story the game's trying to tell. But here's the thing. You start the game over here in the factory, then eventually you have to make your way out here to the resistance camp. Then eventually the game tells you to go from the resistance camp out to a couple of other locations around here. I had a couple of frustrating videos where I had to pick up items that enemies dropped. I had to find specific crafting items that enemies would drop, and when those enemies were defeated, they wouldn't respawn. So I couldn't complete the quest because all the enemies that dropped the items I needed were not disappeared when I destroyed them. They didn't drop the items they didn't drop the items I needed, and they wouldn't respawn. I went to multiple places on this map trying to get the enemies to respawn, trying to see what else I can do, but I couldn't find the items I needed. And then at some point, I think I found them like in this parking garage or something here, which infuriated me because I spent half an hour trying to complete this stupid quest. I spent an hour trying to complete that quest, trying to figure out why the enemies wouldn't respawn. Why are the enemies not dropping what I need? So I died at some point to a wandering moose or something. And then all the enemies respawned, and eventually I found what I was looking for in here. Is that part of the storytelling? I don't know. I was worried it was bad game design. I'll mention a few other things. Like when I get to the chip, I'll explain the chip system later, because there are chips in this game that you could turn on or remove. And unfortunately, what happens is that some of the items you can remove are based on interface things. Basic interface. Like when I pick up an item, the game tells you what you picked up. That is linked to a chip that that is taking up space in your inventory. But I found the music box I was looking for. So the little words you see on the bottom of the screen right there. In fact, let me see how many items I have here. Okay. When I pick up an item, it tells me what I picked up right there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen above the map. 200 Gs. Now watch what happens when I take that thing off. That particular piece of the HUD is linked to a plug-in chip. Customize. Let me get my equip chips. What's this one called? This one's called a text log. So you're allowed to equip, multiple chips on your body. The problem is that things like this, like the mini-map or the save points, they are linked to chips. So if you want to actually get these quality of life features, you actually have to plug them in. Now some of this stuff I don't mind. Like some of this stuff I'm never going to use. Like, let's look at these other things, chips right here that I don't have equipped. These equips are not a chip down here. I don't need to know how much experience I have right now. So I just remove that chip. But simple things, like on the right-hand side of the screen, there's an equip, I see how much experience I have, EXP, on the right-hand side of the screen. It doesn't tell me how much I need to get to the next experience level. How do I figure that out? I got to equip this thing. Okay. So let me remove that. See on the top left-hand corner of the screen right now, you can see experience 6629, and you can kind of see that bar over there. Let me get to it. Let me get to a place with a bit more contrast. There you go. So you can see how close I am to the next experience level. About 3/4 of the way there. But it's such a weird thing to map to the games. It's such a weird thing to map to the HUD. But then again, I've been based on all the arguments I've heard about the story that I haven't finished, obviously. This is apparently part of the story. If you want this stuff turned on, if you want to see this stuff to make the game easier to deal with, You have to actually make a choice. Okay. I choose to remove it. So instead of just having a meter on the right-hand side of the screen that tells me how much experience I have and how much HP I have, like this gauge right here, you can actually remove it. So why would I remove that? Well, I can always see when my HP is over there, but I can't see it during combat now. See, during combat, I can't see my HP right there at the top of the screen. But if I do this, I can see it there. I've been told that things like this could be intentional design decisions on Yoko Taro's part. I've been playing this game for 13 hours. It seems like a really stupid thing to imply that is important. It seems like a really stupid way to imply the importance of stuff like this. It seems like a really stupid way to reveal this. It might mean something later, but I'm sorry, like I said, after 13 hours, that kind of idea should have been explained a bit more clearly, just saying. What are you, M. Night Shyamalan now? Is Yoko Taro the M. Night Shyamalan of video games? Because for a while he was trying to be the next Hideo Kojima or something, apparently. I mean, yeah, have we gotten to this point now where Shyamalan's a pretentious a-hole because his stories are constantly denying you basic catharsis? Whereas Yoko Taro is some kind of genius because he denies catharsis by putting it in a video game that's 13 hours long instead of 2 hours like Shyamalan stories. Or 2.5. I think Glass might have been a 3-hour director's cut out there somewhere. That's probably coming out on DVD, an uncut director's cut. We'll see how that goes. But I need this. I need this. So decisions like this drive me nuts because they're designed to kind of, I guess, lead you by the nose towards something that might be meaningful once you finish the story. But at this point, I've been playing this game for 13 hours, and I wish this game were half as long as it was. And we've barely even scratched the surface. And I'm not going where I need to go. I'm going over here. Just a second. I'm close to where I need to be. Wait, wrong way. The map isn't great either, I've already explained that. The map isn't terrible, but it's annoying that there's no true north on this map. So your only way to really get your orientation right is to set your own waypoints and use those waypoints to determine which way is whichever direction. And apparently, again, that might be another thing the game twists the knife into you and beats you over the head with as you complete the first playthrough of the game. Because yes, like Super Ghouls and Ghosts, you have to play this game multiple times. It's worse than that, but at least it has save points. Super Ghouls and Ghosts did not. That's another issue entirely. So this resistance camp is at the southeastern corner of the map. The factory's on the southwestern corner of the map. And oh, by the way, did I mention this? Why haven't I gone here yet? Because it's underground. I have no way of knowing how to get there. Same thing here. That's deep. That's underground too. The map doesn't really make that terribly clear. I mean, I was able to figure it out by accident, but it's the kind of thing you wish were more clear. Let's see what else we got in terms of interface issues. We'll come across a few more, obviously, because I've already complained about... I've already complained about the fact that you have to wander between all these points because there is no fast travel. And you're not going to get a chance to see the space station because at this point in the game, it's just another place to shop. Hold on, I forgot to actually point out where I'm going. Over there, so we're going to the... I don't know which direction I'm going. Again, I don't know which way's north. I have to reorient myself again. That's... Okay, so that is north. Okay, so that's north. There we go. So we have to go back the way we came and somehow get across that bridge. Just a second, let me go back around. So I'm going west. I gotta go west. There we go. Well, I can't get past this gate, can I? So I have to get to the other side of this gate then. Okay, so the only reason I came here was to get to the music box. Which I needed to complete the quest anyway. Which I'm probably not going to complete because I have to take it back. I have to take it back to a person on the other side of the map, right? Let's see. Active quests. Resistance camp. So I have to go all the way back to the resistance camp on the far southeastern side of the map. Which is over... I can't even... Which way am I? Yeah, it's over there. Yeah, so I have to go all the way back over there to complete that quest. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah. Game of the year, am I right? Okay, let me show you this. You got a flower over here. That might be meaningful later. I haven't been able to make any sense of why this flower is here. I've seen 3 of these in the game so far, I want to say. Oh, yeah. I remember when I told you that I needed a text log to figure out what I was picking up? Plug-in chips. Equip chips. Text log. Okay. So if I remove this, I want you to guess what I'm picking up. What did I grab? Stuff like that. So let me get that re-equipped again, because it's driving me nuts. Customize. Let's see. All chips. Give me that text log. Now, what did I actually get? Is there a way to sort the items I picked up based on how recently I obtained them? Did I get gold? Because there were several times in this game where I said, wait a minute, why did I don't need a text log. I thought the text logs were for stories. Now apparently I need a text log to know what I'm actually picking up. Again, seems like a weird way to tell a story, don't you think? If this is important to the story, seems like a very weird and very sort of it's unnecessarily pretentious, right? I've already gone over here. I need to go west. Like there have to be a million ways to convey this idea, but I guess Yoko Taro is a genius or a savant or something, so we have to just play along, because he's trying to tell us something important about the nature of existence or something, sociology, I guess, which you never would have learned unless you were playing a game where you had to complete chores and deal with user interface nonsense. In fact, 2018 was the year in which Killer 7 was re-released. Was released on PC. I don't know if it was released on any consoles, but it was definitely released on PC. And that's one of those games that was considered something of a... Well, that game was by Suda7, and Suda7 was known for making really weird really weird interactive art pieces that were ostensibly video games. In other words, basically Suda7's storytelling quirks always seem to imply that his stories are just not Ken Russell like he's basically like I don't even want to call him a grindhouse game director. But he's just a guy who's just incredibly weird, and his games always seem to have bizarre mechanics that don't make any sense. But they enhance the storytelling in certain ways. And Killer 7 was a game about, well, it could have been a first-person shooter, but he chose to keep the game in the third person because I guess the characters mattered and the ways in which they moved and the ways in which they looked mattered. But it was a game where you were holding a button down to move forward, like this. In this game, you just kind of you move a stick around to move in a certain direction. In Killer 7, it's like a corridor like this. Don't get me started on fishing. I haven't caught a single fish in this entire game, which might be important to the story. In Killer 7, you hold the button down. Let's say I'm holding down the X button. Instead of holding down the X button to jump, you hold down the X button to move forward like this. And the camera is completely fixed. Then you get to a fork in the road, and then you press a button, or I think you press the D-pad to move the camera toward a particular path, and then you walk down that path by holding down the X button, basically. And the game had other weird ideas. Like, instead of just fighting an enemy that's right in front of you, you had to listen for audio cues because an enemy would laugh. And then if you pressed a different button, you would scan the area for these invisible enemies. So they're like ghosts in a way. So you're wandering down these corridors by holding down buttons to proceed forward or backward down that corridor. Then you would turn when you got to a fork in the road and then hold down the button again. Wait, is that closed off? No, it's not. There's a secret item over there. There's a sword I've already picked up. And so then at some point you have to press a button so that the enemies that are laughing are revealed as ghosts that you then have to shoot as if it were a first-person shooter. But you can't target them until you actually scan the screen so that they show up, and then you get this little first-person view where you can't move, but you're standing still shooting at a enemy that's getting closer to you on your screen. And again, it's an incredibly convoluted way to use a player interface, a user interface. Because every other game up to that point was about just, was a twin stick. Well, even didn't have that many twin stick DualShock controls back then. But this game came out in the GameCube, so they could have done it that way. But instead of treating the game like a first-person shooter where you just had complete freedom of movement, they treated it like a third-person corridor rail shooter, I guess. It wasn't even a rail shooter. It was just a game where your movement was limited to corridors, and you had to press a button in order to move forward or backward. It was weird. But again, I'm going on a tangent because that was a game that was considered a frustrating video game. It was a game about a lot of weird ways weird user interface ideas that seemed to work against the gameplay. They made the game more frustrating to play. Am I going the wrong way? I went the wrong way. Gosh darn it! I gotta go back. Now I gotta go back down that manhole again because I went the wrong way. I got all turned around. Again, a fast travel system would be nice. I guess that would be too convenient and user-friendly, right? Although, to be fair, I mean, this game has a rather serviceable combat system. I mean, you're not going to be able to see much of it. Because, frankly, I've done this for 13 hours. I'm kind of done with the combat, frankly. Hopefully, I'll get better weapons, but I'm frankly done with the combat. Not that way. But there's a lot of this. A lot of wandering around. Not getting lost, really, but wandering around to complete a quest. Oh, wait. Treasure chest. Medium recovery obtained. Those are healing items. You can press down on the D-pad to select your recovery items. You can also press... Whoops. Should have done that. That debuffs the electrical attacks, so you won't take electrical damage. You can also press up to switch between different weapon layouts. I have multiple weapons here. You have two different sets of weapons. You can switch between them at will. So I can press square to do this for my big sword, press triangle to use my speedier sword, my katana, I guess. Press up to switch to the other weapons. You can press square for that katana, and press triangle for that. That's a spear. And I can press the trackpad, the left side of the trackpad, press up to change equipment. Okay, so you can switch your weapon sets. You can see the two weapon sets I have, and each weapon set has a pair of weapons I can switch to between back and forth. So the weapon on top is for the square button. The weapon on the bottom is for the triangle button. Same here with the weapon set too. Again, the combat is really button mashy, and frankly, it doesn't really seem to reward that. It doesn't seem to reward exploring the combo tree. So I would say it's like Bayonetta, only arguably it's less demanding, so that the combat really is button mashier than even Bayonetta is. Because Bayonetta is a game with a really deep combo tree, but you really only needed to do maybe 3 or 4 different things. Am I going the wrong way? I went the wrong way. Just a second. You see what I'm getting at, right? I'm getting lost. And because there's no fast travel system, I have to do this every time I want to go back to the village. So I have to do what people do in the real world when gas prices are high, I guess. They have to go in different, they have to chain trips to town so that they use less gas. Instead of just going to multiple places, instead of just traveling back and forth, you have to, restrict your movement. Like in my case, I'm going to the library. I don't go to the library every week, but I have to go to the library today to take this game back. One of those. So I have to go back to, I have to take the game back. So that means I have to go to Carroll County now. So while I'm in Carroll County, I'll visit, I'll visit Arby's or something. I don't know. Actually, I hate Arby's. Let me take that back. I guess I'm gonna have to visit the GameStop that's up there, but I'm not gonna buy any games while I'm there. So basically, while I'm there, I'll get a few more books. I'll trade in some video games, including this one, and get a few more. Get a few more DVDs. I gotta get my I gotta renew that Voltron DVD I got. Am I stuck? Hey, this is where I got that weapon. Yeah, that's where I got that weapon I found earlier. Yeah, it was right here. I got a weapon. So now I have to find out how to get back to Pascal's village because I'm completely lost again. Just a second. I'm mad now. I'm mad again because the game's making me do all this again. Even if I didn't get lost, it's the fact that I have to keep traveling like this. Just, it's frustrating. I'm not even going the right way, am I? Let's see where I end up. Then I'll know I'm going the wrong way. This is the right way, isn't it? I'm going on a bunch of tangents. I'm bored. So this is the way to the village, right? No, that's the way back to the open world. So I went the wrong way. So I have to go back down again. Okay, so now that I've gotten lost 3 times, I'm gonna go the right way this time. Not that way. Not that way. Gotta go this way. That takes me back to Pascal's village, right? Gotta hold R2 to speed up. That's my evade button, but it's also the button I use to climb these ladders faster. Yeah, we are gonna talk about underweight. Wait. I just came from here. That's the open world. Just a second. Just a frickin' second. This is the open world. So I have to go back the way I came. I'm missing something obvious, and of course. This way? Nope, dead end. I've completely got myself turned around. Okay, so again, I've explained this already. The fact that I have to keep doing this to get back and forth between different points on the map is infuriating now. I've been doing this for 13 hours. I don't want to do this anymore. So I guess I'm on Team Abby, where like the game is just become frustrating. Is this the way up? Oh, wait, it's the way I came here, right? I'm all discombobulated again. Ugh. Yeah, this is the way I came. I'm all turned around again. Should be so easy. Wait, it's over there. It's over there, right? No, it's not over there. That's the ladder. Okay, that's the ladder back to the secret weapon that I already got. Okay, and that's the ladder back up to the open world. And I want to go to the village. How do I get back to the village? It's over here, right? That's a dead end down there. Okay. Where's the way back to the village? Okay, got on that Killer 7 tangent. Now I'm all discombobulated. This is Pascal's village, right? This is the carnival town, right? Yes. No, wait. Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. I keep getting confused by that. Wait a minute. I'm all turned around again. God. I did it again. I screwed it up again. Wait a minute. There's another path there, right? There's a shortcut? I forgot. Was there a shortcut there? No, I can't go that way. Yeah, I can't go that way. Yeah, the game won't let me go through this pathway right here. It's sealed off. Ugh. I'm gonna have to do another video. I'm gonna have to do another video, aren't I? I gotta do another video. Sorry, I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna make you sit through this.